Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be discussing winter holidays around the world. This is by no means reflective of all the holidays that occur in the winter season, but it'll just kind of give little insights on the different cultures that we might have. Some that you may be familiar with, like Christmas, and others that you probably haven't heard of, like Omisoka, which is a Japanese holiday. Um, this slide kind of details where we would be traveling. So we have here the United States, and then Latin America, Israel for Hanukkah, and then Japan. We're going to be starting with like one that's dear to all, Christmas.
Thank you, Sarah. So yeah, Christmas is a holiday that celebrates the birth of Jesus, and it's primarily celebrated by Christians in over 160 countries around the world. In just the United States, over 90% of Americans celebrate on December 25th. And we usually celebrate the holiday by exchanging gifts, spending time with family and friends, and having a nice meal at the table. Some common symbols that you might see for Christmas are candy canes, Christmas trees, holly plants or poinsettia plants. And yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelsey. And now we're going to move on to Hanukkah, if you can take it, Olivia.
Yes, so I'm going to take a second to talk about Hanukkah. Hanukkah is a holiday celebrated in the month of December by Jewish people. So can we move to the next slide? This is actually a picture of a menorah. This is one of the most important symbols for Hanukkah. So in front of the menorah, we have a part of the menorah, we have the 8 candles that are lit. Remember that number 8, that is an important number having to do with Hanukkah. And then the candle in the back is the shamash candle, and that is the candle that we use to light all the other candles. So, some important dates to know about Hanukkah. It is actually happening right now. It started on December 10th and it ends on the 18th. So it is an 8-day celebration. So the history of Hanukkah, it celebrates a time a long time ago when the Maccabees won their freedom. And so during this time, the Maccabees were driven to hide in one of their temples, and in the temple, they found only enough oil to light their candles for one day. But by some miracle, it lasted 8 days. So that is also why Hanukkah is sometimes known as the celebration of lights. So because it lasted for 8 days, we celebrate Hanukkah for 8 days and 8 nights. Each night, we light an additional candle on the menorah, which I showed you on the page before. And as I mentioned, the candle used to light each additional candle on the menorah is called the shamash. Like now in modern times, we celebrate Hanukkah with games like called dreidel. It looks like a top that you spin. It has 4 different symbols on each side. And when you play this game, something that you can win it's called gelt. It's chocolate money. So it's very delicious. Another popular food that we celebrate and eat during Hanukkah is the latkes, which is a potato pancake. And we also eat delicious jelly donuts. And usually during Hanukkah, children receive 1 gift for every night. So that is 8 gifts.
Thank you for that, Olivia. And now we're going to move on to Kwanzaa. Samira?
Thank you, Sarah. So I'm going to be talking about Kwanzaa. So Kwanzaa is primarily celebrated by African Americans. So similar to Hanukkah, there are candles that are lit each night, and the candle holder is called the Canera. So Kwanzaa is celebrated right after Christmas, so December 26th to January 1st. So some history about Kwanzaa. It was created by Dr. Malana Karinga in the year of 1966, so not too long ago, because Christmas was a little too commercialized. So it celebrates the ritual of welcoming the first harvest of the home. It is very similar to Thanksgiving or the Yam Festival in Ghana and Nigeria. Kwanzaa in Swahili means first. So the celebration includes 5 values that are centered for the week. And those 5 values are ingathering, reverence, commemoration, recommitment, and celebration. Each day candle is lit to represent one of the 7 principles, which are unity, self-determination, collective work, responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. And gifts are usually exchanged on the 31st of December, and people usually celebrate with a feast of food as well.
Okay, thank you for that, Samira. Now I'm going to be discussing Omisoka, which is a holiday primarily celebrated in Japan. And the next picture kind of has like these lights, lanterns and string of lights. And actually, like this holiday is taking place on December 31st, so New Year's Eve. And a lot of the activities they do in Omisaka are similar to how we would celebrate New Year's Eves in the United States. So they might visit temples and shrines and have countdown parties, or watch the Kohaku Utogasan, which is like almost analogous to like watching the New York ball drop on New Year's Eve. So like this is kind of like a public music TV show in Japan. So a little bit about Omisaka, which also just means year's end. It has its influence in Shintoism. And for those of you who don't know what Shintoism is, it's a polytheistic religion. So unlike Islam or Christianity or even Judaism, this kind of religion celebrates multiple gods instead of one. So Omisaka specifically deifies and praises one of these gods, and this is called the Toshigama-sama, which protects people's homes. And on the day of Omisaka, there's an osoji, which means like a big cleaning. So it's actually pretty common to, if you were in Japan, that you wouldn't see anyone in the streets because everybody would be in their homes, like tidying up and cleaning. And then they kind of move on with that tradition by doing other activities that symbolize cleaning or purity, like having a toshi no yu, which is like taking a bath on New Year's Eve. And they might even do this in like public bathhouses, something that you probably won't see too often here. Finally, this day is like marked by the Joya no Kan, which is the bells on New Year's Eve. So the bells are striked 108 times. And this number is specific to get rid of all the desires and passions, like kind of like the sins that we've accumulated throughout the year. And then the last bell is struck on New Year's. At the end, the last bell is struck to mark the New Year's. And then this is like for the new beginning, as we're moving towards like a more new, clean year.
All right, and for our last tradition, I'll be talking about Posadas, which in English translates to inn or shelter. And the reason behind this name is because it is a holiday that is deeply rooted in the story, the biblical story of Mary and Joseph's journey and trying to seek shelter the days leading up to Christmas. So here on the screen, you will see a picture of piñatas, which if you are not familiar with, are usually used to celebrate birthdays or other celebrations, but they actually originated with posadas, and typically, or the original piñata is shaped like a star and it has 7 points, each to represent one of the deadly sins. And posadas are typically celebrated December 16th, leading up to Christmas Day. So it ends on the 24th. So it is a 9-day long event. And again, it is rooted in the religious story of Mary and Joseph's pilgrimage and journey to Bethlehem, leading up to the birth of Jesus on Christmas Day. So on each night of Posadas, a new family opens up their home and hosts some sort of dinner party. And during these events, a lot of Christmas carols and songs are sung. Hosts give out small bags at the end of the event with treats as parting gifts, usually for children, but also adults receive them. And some of the traditional foods that are at Posadas are tamales and ponche, which is an infused drink that is made with a lot of different fruits. So very, very good food. And then on the final night, on the 24th, the group tends to attend midnight mass to close off the holiday. So yes, that is all I have.
Thank you, Gabby. That was very informative. So once again, everyone, to mark the close of this, this was just a little presentation to give you a glimpse of the many, many different holidays around the world. I hope you can take something away from today, but most of all, happy holidays. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys once the break ends. Okay.